All right, St. Louis, like I said, good morning. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, St. Louis. We're going to go to school today. We're going to try to figure out why we are in so much darkness. I'm going to try to take my time, if I can, St. Louis, to get you to understand that we haven't done our best. The reason we haven't done our best is because we are living like immature children. And it's unfortunate. Many of you believe that you are intelligent, but you got to look at the scale and see who set the bar. And I think that's important. Also, we need to think about why are we fighting other countries? 190 plus countries in the world. Why are we all fighting? Why are we all trying to gain superiority, superpower? Why are we all trying to be dominant as it relate to nuclear weapons, etc.? I think we got a problem. I think we honestly, unquestionably have a problem. And the problem is, it's because we're illiterate. We're ignorant. We think we're intelligent because one that set the bar appears to be intelligent, but he's ignorant also. The blind are leading the blind. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about what I think is actually going on. And believe it or not, I think there's times when I might start off saying one thing and I might eventually venture off into something different. And I want to believe that the stronger the mind gets, the more you're able to see what you couldn't see before. So as a result, you can come up with a good analogy of what is actually going on. It's sad, St. Louis. It's honestly, unquestionably sad that we have allowed ourselves to stay in this form of living for so long. Not only are we in this form of living, but being that we haven't yet evolved enough to know that we never knew, so many people are dying. So many people are perishing. The reason they're perishing is because they've never heard the truth. The mama didn't know, grandmama, great-grandmama, great-great-grandmama didn't know. From the beginning of creation, no one knew the truth. We all living in the past. And the reason we're living in the past, and so many are living in darkness, because of the fact that we've not evolved in mind. The mind itself is perishing before it gets to know itself. It's dying. We formulated false religion, false doctrine. Everybody's hooping and hollering, trying to run to a church, but yet they fail to realize those that are in the church that are literally giving the sermon are also blind. Blind leading the blind. Think about it for a second. We got 190 plus countries around this world, and everybody's trying to be dominant as it relates to the military. Everybody have their own intelligence agencies, their own spies. Believe it or not, some of them are double agents in various other countries. And why is that? It's because we're all trying to figure out what the hell is going on, but yet all are blind and illiterate and don't know the truth. I posted something earlier as it relates to hypersonic. They're trying to establish some form of missile that can reach the speed of hypersonic, which is between 5 to 10 Machs. We're talking about 3 to 4,000 miles an hour. That's a relatively fast speed. And that's what they're trying to do. And the reason they're trying to do this is because they want to be able to defeat the enemy. But who's the enemy? Is it Russia? Is it China? Is it North Korea? Is it Afghanistan? Who's the enemy? The enemy is ourselves. We're lost. And we're in trouble. Because we're fighting something that we know not of. But yet that something in which we know not of has orchestrated us to fight one another. And the reason we're fighting one another is because we hadn't reached the level of mind to know that we don't know nothing. We are illiterate. We're literally living in darkness. And that's one of the reasons your cells are mutating and making bad copies of themselves, is because you never reached the perfect sound. We're talking about subsonic, transonic, supersonic, and hypersonic. How does that work? If you're talking about supersonic, you're dealing with a medium. You're dealing with the air molecules. So in other words, it'll keep you entrapped in the box. But when you go hypersonic, you're able to leave the box. And as a result of leaving the box, you can't be destroyed. You can't be annihilated. But unfortunately, we're fighting amongst ourselves because we haven't left the box. We're living in the prison. And that prison is your undeveloped mind. The Bible says something quite eloquently, I think. The individual things of him are clearly seen by the things that are made, so you without excuse. If they're making hypersonic missiles to travel at Mach 5 and Mach 10, and we're looking at them make this missile, the question is, who's making the missile? Is the missile making itself? Because the missile itself is not physical, it's just a sound. Nothing's physical. So what we must realize is that we must become what we're trying to create. We must become hypersonic. We must be able to reach the speed of light or the speed of sound and exceed the speed of sound. And once we are capable of doing that, we would literally come to understand that the undeveloped mind will die unless it reaches full development. And that's what's happening right now. I realize you're backing that thing up and acting a fool. Everybody want to have sex and be like Mike. And the reason you think that way is because you're in a prison. And that prison is because you never broke out based upon the development of your mind. So as a result, all appears to be true. It's called a false sign and a wonder. It's sad. It's so sad. We're driving to and from, but yet we fail to realize we're driving just like they were using horse and buggy. The cars are just like horse and buggy. You might think it's creative, new age, brand new car, jet, plane, and train, but it's no different than we looked at them that had a horse and a buggy. They couldn't go where they needed to go because they had not enough speed to go, but yet they didn't know, so they was comfortable with what they had. Subsequently came cars, train, and plane, and we felt comfortable. Now we're trying to get hypersonic. But we must go even beyond hypersonic. We must become what we've been seeking to find, and that's the truth. And in that truth will set us free. We can do this, St. Louis, Chi-Town, Oregon. We can do this, the Bahamas, New York. We can do it, Florida. But we must not continue to follow the traditions of men. And the reason I'm saying this is because man has not the mind to know that they know nothing. It's sad, St. Louis. It's sad, Alabama. It's sad, Georgia. It's time. And God continue to bless my family, bless your family, until we come to the realization of how to play the game. Once we do, we will defeat the game. Shout out to my son, Winton. I love you, son. Keep grinding. Catherine, Noah, Zion, grandbaby now, Gabe, Walter, and Danielle. God bless.